Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome here if you are new. It is the first time that I'm having Jack in the Box on my channel, and I'm pretty excited because I haven't had Jack in the Box in a minute. Unfortunately, I ordered incorrectly, and then they also gave me an extra buttery Jack, which is cool. I don't have it out here because I don't know that I'll eat all this food anyway, but they accidentally gave me an extra, which is cool. So where I messed up was that I ordered 2 of these late night spicy nacho sandwiches, and I wanted to get one of the curly fry sandwiches, and I didn't. So that kind of sucks because that was the one that I was really excited for, and the reason I didn't get curly fries and got onion rings instead. 2 new items that they do have at Jack in the Box is this popcorn chicken. I got this 50-50 one. It has spicy nuggets and the regular nuggets, and then they also have these mac and cheese bites up here. So those I'm excited to try. And then my taco also fell apart. Second piece is back here, which is fine. They also didn't give me taco sauce. Of course, he did ask if I wanted sauce. And I forgot about the tacos, so I asked for ranch. So that was my bad as well. I love these tacos. Burger King also has really good tacos, but I think that they're discontinued. I'd say really good. This is subjected to a fast food taco. That's not Taco Bell. It's the crunch for me. Those tiny tacos are also so good. They're like little taquitos because they're deep fried. Yeah. This is a Coke, which I accidentally ordered, but here we are. So I'm gonna drink it. Onion rings, obviously. Mac and cheese bites, like I said. The spicy nacho, sourdough, the grilled club on sourdough, and then this is just a classic buttery Jack. And I already told you these are the little popcorn nuggets. It's pretty good. And when I stuck the straw into the this, it kind of spilled everywhere, so yeah, don't mind that. Strawberry shake. I always forget how good those are until I have one again. I'm trying onion rings. Typically I like these with ketchup, but I don't feel like getting up to get any, and I forgot before I sat down, so. It's okay. Better on its own than it is with ranch. They're good though. I love Jack in the Box onion rings. So, the sun's coming in behind me. Please don't mind it. Sorry about that. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that my sister actually suggested. Mostly because I couldn't find anything else that I wanted to talk about. And I had already started on this one, so, why not roll with it? It's the mystery of Swedish refugees going into comas, and it's only children. This slaps. I wish I had gotten the other one because I bet that one would have been so good. They have really good cheese. By really good, I mean like really good, really bad cheese. You know what I mean? Like tastes good, probably very chemically. Of course, I don't know. I don't work there. I thought this was supposed to have jalapenos on it, right? And maybe onion rings. That might be what those are, but I definitely don't see jalapenos. Weird. So this is something that started happening back in the 90s. Once Eastern European countries started fleeing to Sweden for refuge. Countries, I mean families from those countries. And it started to get really bad into the 2000s and kind of like progressively got worse as the years went on. These children of refugees started to kind of become very like less responsive as time went on. So like say it started with them kind of shying away from the kids that they were playing with and becoming very like introverted and not really talking to them, and then it would get down to a point where maybe they were only talking a little bit and then they stopped talking at all, and then they started getting really tired and they started sleeping all the time, and then they would just fall into comas eventually. So medical professionals have deemed this something called resignation syndrome. So this is something that's still very new. I'm gonna try these mac and cheese bites. Like I said, it's only been happening since the 90s. And it's only Eastern European refugees. So doctors are still very like in the middle of figuring out what exactly triggers this and how they can possibly fix it or help the kids come out of their comas. Literally all I can hear is you guys jingling. Why do you have to make so much noise when I'm doing something? You've been quiet all day, just sleeping. Also, I apologize if you can hear the neighbor downstairs. He really likes to jam to his music, so. So this is the classic buttery jack. They put a lot of lettuce on here, which I like, but it's like aggressive. Oh, crunchy. I'm underimpressed. I've never had the buttery jack before, but maybe it's just because it's been sitting for a little while, but the bun's kind of hard. So the lead kind of doctor on this condition, her name is Suzanne O'Sullivan, and she's a doctor in Sweden, and she's been studying this for the past couple of years. And one of her theories is that this resignation syndrome is due to stress and trauma in the child's life. Because if you think about it, these families are coming from really bad situations, and they're literally fleeing their homeland because things are so bad. So you don't know what the kid could have seen while they were back in their homeland, and you don't know what the kid is listening to, because in a lot of these cases where families go in and plead for asylum in a country, they can only get up to a couple of years worth of a green card. And the children of the family are required to sit through those trials, so they hear everything. Stop. There was one specific case of a family who came from Russia, and when the girl was really, really young, the mob, like the police mob in Russia, came and assaulted their family. The mom and the daughter got away, but the dad was taken. And then finally, a couple of days after, the dad finally made contact and the family was reunited. And then they'd been on the run ever since. So the girl had a really hard time with that, obviously. And she was very traumatized from the situation. A lot of the health professionals on this case are looking into why it's only like Eastern European, so like refugees that come from Africa, this doesn't happen to them, or come from an Asian country, this doesn't happen to them. It's only like these certain 4 or 5 countries where these kids are having this resignation syndrome. And all of those refugees have very traumatic experience. I'm not saying that some have more than the other. It's just for some reason, this certain group their kids are falling into comas. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that the kids do come out of comas, and it's usually upon their family finally like gaining asylum in Sweden. So a lot of politicians in Sweden are like, well, these kids are faking it, or their family is like feeding their kids some kind of poison to put them into this coma, because they think that we'll let them have asylum so that their kid can come back to life. That's the litter robot in the background. I have to tell you guys, if you have cats, and I know it's a big spend, but it has literally changed my life to have that thing. The cats love it. They don't even use the other 2 litter boxes. I'm going to get them a second one of these litter robots. Seriously life-changing. This is the sourdough club. I didn't separate my tomatoes or the bacon. It's fine. So the weird thing about these comas that these kids go into is that they're still fully aware. So they monitor their like brain movement throughout the coma, and these kids still have like it's like their brain wakes up. It knows what time to like wake up, as if you're waking up in the day, and it knows what time to go to sleep, and it reacts to everything. It's just the body itself is not reacting, which is not like a normal coma. It's literally like everything inside of them is completely awake and responsive, but their body just isn't moving. So this girl, she had a traumatic experience. She slowly starts to shut down, you know, stops playing with her friends and her sister, and falls into a coma. She was there through all the family's trials and like that they had for, because I think that they got an 18-month green card, and so the family was trying to fight to stay longer than that, and they were denied refuge. And so she like heard all of that, and she was very aware of all of that, and that's when things started to like kind of get bad for her. And the reason that doctors think this happens is because these kids have basically like lost all hope, and their bodies have just shut down because they think that they're like, they don't have a will to live and they don't have a reason to live. So their bodies just like stop, not responding, but they are essentially like the living dead. So there's no like set time frame for these comas. Some of them last like a couple weeks, and some of them can last months. But even saying that the cure is for their family to like find refuge isn't true, because, well, it is true, but some kids will stay unresponsive for months after the family has like left or found refuge. So it's not like related. It's not like they just one day wake up, they're like, oh, my family's safe, so I can wake up now. It like, sometimes they're in a coma for months after. I love strawberry milkshakes. They're so good. There have been some studies done on the kids who like woke up from their comas, and they kind of like were trying to figure out how they felt during that time. And a couple of people have like pleasant experiences where it's like, yeah, I just felt like really calm the whole time, and it was like a release from my everyday life. And then other kids have like really kind of like scary experiences where they're like, I felt like I was trapped inside this all glass box at the bottom of the ocean, and if I were to make any movement, the box would break and I would die. Like, so like that's literally how they felt the entire time that they were in this coma, which is just horrible because sometimes that lasts like months. So even though there hasn't like been a set cure, number one, because they don't really know what causes this illness, there is one group of individuals there's like one group in Sweden who has done a lot of studying on this particular disease, and they found that they've had results by separating the child from the family completely and kind of putting them into like everyday things with the workers. You know, like they'll wake up at a normal time and then they'll get dressed for the day, and they'll put pajamas on at night, and they'll take them on walks, and they'll roll them into the kitchen to smell food, just have normal everyday experiences that they otherwise wouldn't have had because they're in a coma. But it's kind of like giving them a reason or a will to live is essentially what these people think. Like, hey, if we completely separate them from the talk of the family, you know, trying to gain refuge, and we take them away from seeing all these people that maybe trigger like a trauma response in their brain, then these kids can completely disconnect from the fact that their family is like in a tragedy and maybe come back to reality and have like this new sense of a will to live. So this whole thing is like super bizarre. And it is like a new disease, so people don't know a lot about it. So it's really hard to kind of get any kind of insight into what's really going on. Like, is it the family scamming the government of Sweden? Is it actually like a traumatic response, or is this brought on by societal influence where a kid hears about the situation, they have like a certain apathy toward another child, or they can relate to their situation, and then they fall into like the same sickness. It's almost not like a placebo effect, but it's like the child is so able to feel the same thing as someone else in that condition that they then start to like pull those emotions from them and those feelings, and then later on they'll fall into a coma too. So no one knows. I'm really upset about not getting the right sandwich because that was definitely my fault. And I can just not eat like I used to. This is really good though. Oh man. Got on my shirt. It's It's all over. And it's literally in like 6 places on my shirt. Like, how did that even happen? Well, that's enough of me making a mess today. The food was good. Kind of underimpressed with the buttery jack itself. This was like meh. Onion rings were good, super crunchy. The mac and cheese bites were like meh. These are good. Popcorn chicken, taco slaps. That slaps. Yeah. This slaps. So yeah, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below what you thought about the story. If there are any stories you guys want to see next, just come to chat, you know. That's cool too. But yeah, okay, bye.